All right, welcome to the Grotto, episode 2. How you doing, Mr. Travis?
I am well. How are you today?
I'm a little tired.
Well, I don't know why you would be tired. I don't know why you would be tired, Michael. It's not like you did anything all fucking day.
Oh, well, we did do a few things, and it has gotten into the night, but you know what? It's been a killer day, so I can't complain too much, right?
What did you do today?
Oh, fuck, what did we do today?
I know what you did. You pissed off some motherfuckers.
We did.
What'd you say over there, lady?
Talk about that later.
Okay. All right, so we're going to start back over the top because that sucked. We're going to talk about some satanic activism, some upcoming events, and we're going to talk about how other Satanists can help.
Yeah, it's going to be very much centered around the ideas of what we're doing right now, kind of this particular initiatives that we're taking at the moment. But before we really get into all of that, let's take some time to shout out to our new Patreon members.
We have new Patreon members.
We do. It's starting to grow. You guys are doing great. I love seeing this grow, and we're going to be able to do a lot more the more of you guys chime in here or help out here.
You want me to help you out?
I
Okay, so
help.
first...
I need help. I told you I was tired
God,
today.
you suck. Okay, so we're going to say thank you to our new members of Patreon, Mark, Katie, Jay, Colton, and Scarecrow.
Right, and we definitely don't want to forget our original members that signed up even before we released the first podcast. Your guys' money's helped us out so much. Once again, thank you, Bruce, Travis, Lux, Hog Jockey, Panda, and Hermetica.
Hermetica!
Hey, Travis, I heard we accomplished something big this week. Not this week. Hold on. Hey, Travis. This doesn't sound right.
Back up. You suck.
Yeah.
All right, so guess what?
What?
We are now an official nonprofit organization in the state of Kansas.
That is right. We've got our articles of incorporation. Yeah, give it up.
Applause. Give us some of that, right?
Right.
You know what? And with that, we are continuing to invest, grow, and
you're absolutely right. We're going to keep building this thing. We're going to keep growing it. We've taken more steps than even just the articles and corporations. We've gotten federal numbers. We've started our bank account so that we can participate in commerce and get this group's money management legit and transparent for our members so that we can really start taking some awesome actions. We've taken really big growth steps this last month.
yeah, and one of those things is we're going to start looking at insurance.
Yeah, the liability insurance is going to be a big deal for us. Being able to get that will free us up to hold events in public venues. We'll be able to hold rallies or protests. And the articles of incorporation actually help with that too, because as a legal separate entity, the Grotto kind of gives us this umbrella coverage for us to act under. It's really cool. We're moving along on it with great speed.
Right, and that's awesome. So what does that mean to the members, and how does that affect them?
Well, now we have recognition from the government. I think that's one of our biggest things that we've always fought with this group, and anything that we want to do is a lot of people were able to look at us and go, well, who are you? Now we can say this is who we are. I've walked into a lot of government institutions lately and signed my name next to words like Satanic right in front of, clerks, councilmen. Yeah, it's been an interesting month.
With the articles of corporation being completed and some of the business stuff and government stuff being taken care of and out of the way, what we need to do is concentrate on our members and what's next for them. So when we do this, part of the things we're developing is our membership handbook, our member handbook. And, it's been in the works for a long time, right? Yeah. And, we've had one for a while, but it needs to get put out there again so that we can see it, right?
Right. And before we put this into action, we want the feedback from our members to make sure that this is the types of systems and this is an understanding that we all have a consensus on and how we want to work this group. The structural framework will be approved by our members as this is a member-led group.
Yeah. The members are the sole authority in this group, right? We've talked about that before, and we want to make sure that they have their voice. And part of that is being able to approve the handbook and understand what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. And it's also going to lead to us producing a private Grotto forum for official members. That's right. We're going to be able to come in and communicate directly with our members, post issues, post things about official members meetings, board meetings, financial paperwork, things like that are going to show our inner workings. We're going to have a dedicated space for our members to work in and become leaders in this group.
That's awesome. And we hope to have that out there and approved by August 31st. That is the goal date to have this done. So we plan on getting that out there real soon.
And we'll put our first big meeting out, right?
Yeah.
We'll call a members meeting. We'll hold our first board meeting. We'll approve all of our materials here if we can. It's going to be a big day. That's coming up soon.
Yeah, and that's real important to this organization, right?
Absolutely. Vote no, August 2nd.
So, yeah, you need to vote no August 2nd, because if you don't, you're taking away women's rights.
That's absolutely it. That's the pure and simple.
That's it. And those rights should not be in the ballot. It's not political. Women have a right to choose. And if you say anything else, you're fucking wrong.
I'm looking down at the paper the whole time.
It's okay. It was his time.
Yeah, my fucking turn. Don't be taking away my voice, bitch. And if you don't vote no, you're a piece of shit like this guy, Clifton Bohe, who is running for Kansas
fucking Bohe
representative in Bonner Springs. But we're not going to talk about that guy because he's a piece of shit. Okay, we are going to talk about him. We're going to talk about him real bad. What would you like to say about that fucker?
So let's give a little background here for folks who are just turning in the first time, right? They don't know what we've been doing here in the past. So after overturning Roe versus Wade, it was an interesting time because my partner became an escort for Planned Parenthood, right? We had some connections through some other groups and stuff, and the opportunity came out, so she signed up for it and was approved. Well, as she goes to do this, we realize that there's this counter protest every week against these fundamentalist Christians. And when I say fundamentalist, please understand what I'm saying is fascist. These people are horrible. These are the people that when a little girl who has been raped is going into Planned Parenthood to try to get whatever help she needs, they're handing them baby booties. They're telling them not to kill their baby, that it's God wants them to be a mother.
So they're okay with a 10-year-old being a mother? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And that's been in the news here recently, right? We've seen this type of thing get exploited on national TV now. And this guy, Clifton Bohe, let me tell you, I'm not talking about an abstract concept right now. I'm not talking about just your rights or something that you have to think about. I'm giving you a specific person who is working against you, who is working against the community as a whole to try to take away rights.
Hold on. So what you're telling me is this one person is organizing so many people that it's going to make an effect of my life?
Well, he is running for representative of Kansas out of the 33rd district. That is something we have some video of this too. We might have to post this up to Patreon or something, or give some links in the comments below. We'll give you links. Check the comments below. So Clifton Bohe is one of these guys that walks up on these young women trying to go get help from Planned Parenthood after they've had traumatizing experiences or whatever's going on in their lives, and guilts and shames them to try to keep their babies while feeding them lies and bullshit all on top of it.
So what kind of lies are they being told? What is it that they're saying to these women that need help?
You know, their biggest thing is they actually have a pregnancy crisis center next door, and they like to tell these women and stuff that they're going to get them help, that they will get them adoption services, that there are people who want to help them, and it's just simply not true. They do not want to help anyone. They want to prevent that abortion or that person to get access to any kind of choice of their own reproductive health.
So as a Satanist, what can we do different to prevent this?
So there's a couple methods here that we've found to be particularly effective. And one of them is not letting them have that voice outside of Planned Parenthood. They come and they say rather horrible things to these ladies, and what we've been doing is drowning them out. We've been showing up with signs to block them, with bullhorns to play music, and exchange a polite conversation of ideas with these folks.
Yeah, so doing that, how does that accomplish? You're just being louder than they are, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that is, and I will tell you, it's not that we're trying to accomplish anything with these Christians on their level. What we're there to do is prevent them from harassing the women. The more they have to focus on us and what we're doing and fight through us, they don't have the chance to attack these women. And that's our true focus in this campaign.
We were at the Planned Parenthood. We were counter-protesting. And what would you say the accomplishments were by drowning them out or hanging out and telling them that they were wrong? How do you think that affected them?
Well, today was an interesting thing. We've done this for a few weeks now, and they were run down today. I have to say I was a little disappointed. They had come
I was not disappointed.
You were disappointed. I will tell you.
I was glad to see them in the fucking the ditches.
We've dealt them some pretty brutal days. They have been used to being able to stand up and get away with this, and that is the biggest thing. Is no one has directly challenged them and said, "Fuck you! You don't get to get away with this." They're very, very. They were very comfortable with what they were doing, and what they are now is very uncomfortable. And to me, that's a win, especially if it keeps them from harassing these women, which once again is the ultimate goal of this campaign. We distract them, we blot out that fascist noise so that the women can come in and out unmolested.
I like that. That is awesome. So part of that, you always have some type of person that is an antagonist. Who would you say would be the antagonist of this group? Back to Clifton Bohe.
Right.
How does he fit into this picture?
Well, Bohe likes to stick his nose in everywhere. Generally, anywhere you're going to find any kind of protest or event that is for human rights, you're going to find him there standing against it. We've caught him in a few places now.
Yeah, he was at the Women's March, right?
Well, that's on the 4th of July here in Kansas City. They had a We're Not Free March. And it covered a lot of things, specifically on women's reproductive rights. But it had a lot of things. He is also running in the Republican primary here in Kansas, also August 2nd.
What? No.
When you're supposed to vote no.
That type of person is able to do that kind of shit?
Absolutely. He has directly said that he wants to base the laws of this country off of the laws of his Bible and the way that he interprets it.
Wait a minute. So a Christian wants to base laws off of their beliefs?
This very specific Christian.
I don't think that's okay. Isn't that?
No, it's not okay, and that's why I'm there.
Sure.
That's why we're
Who's
there.
he running against?
I believe that in the primary he's running against. Where's it at? Mike Thompson. He's running against Mike Thompson in that primary. Okay. And then, of course, he'll run up against whoever wins the Democratic primary in November. So we just need to keep a real close eye, see who's going here, because he's not the only one. When we do this Dirtbag of the Month thing, we've got a line of people, and you know what the main thing they all have in common for?
What's that?
What the main thing that they all have in common is?
They're assholes?
That too. That's actually a pretty good answer. They are all assholes.
They're all assholes?
They're all also running for some form of... They're also all fascists, yes. They're all also running for office in one form or another.
All of them?
All of them. Every last one of them.
If you have somebody out there that needs to be part of the Dirtbag of Month...
Write it in.
Write it in.
Leave a comment.
Put it in the comment. let us know.
Email us
however it is, and we will let everybody else know how big of a dirtbag that guy is, or that gal. It doesn't matter. Or that they. It doesn't matter.
We're equal dirtbag providers.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Dirtbags are dirtbags, and we will handle that shit.
Yes, we will. And we want people in our communities to be informed on these people, because there's this kind of pervasive thought throughout a lot of just everyday people that things just happen. There's no real way to change them, and that they're just subjected to that. That's not true. Keep going.
Part of it is people are just disconnected with what is going on in their community. They don't understand that these type of people are running for office and making changes that do not benefit them at all. So, that's part of that. We want to make sure that everybody understands who's there, what the opposition is, and what they need to do to change it.
Yeah, this isn't something abstract.
Look at that big dick! With the upcoming election and these politicians wanting to impose their religion, how's that make you feel?
Fucking angry.
Why? Because we have freedom of religion here, or a separation of church?
I think both. We are freed for religion and from religion, depending on how you look at it and how you want to live your life. And I think it is so incredibly offensive for someone to say that their religion has control over anyone's life. Your rights end where our rights begin. That is the way it works.
Okay. So with that being said, if someone wants to be a politician and they are of a certain religious sect, how do you prevent that from happening? Don't vote for that motherfucker.
Get out. Yeah, get out and organize. And that's the big thing here, right? That's what we're doing. We're organizing, we're educating, we're getting people involved. If you're a Satanist at home and you've been sitting there and you've been bitching about what's happening and you're angry and the most that you've ever done is post a meme, fuck that. Get up and do something. Come out and join us. Go find another group and join them. I don't really care what action you take. I'm not here to recruit you specifically for our group. What I'm here to do is recruit you to be a rebel. Figure out whatever the hell part of Satan makes you angry and act on it. Get out there and do something.
Hail Satan. And quit being in the basement. Quit being by yourself. Step your ass out. Be uncomfortable and get yourself fucking in the works.
I'll tell you what, I've done a lot of uncomfortable stuff lately. I put myself in situations.
Me too.
We put ourselves in some situations that I think a lot of people would look at and say, that's dangerous.
Oh, yeah. That's absolutely fucking dangerous.
Yeah. All right. So I think that Satanists have a unique opportunity right now, right? There's Christian fascism creeping up everywhere. It's this weird ultra-nationalistic blend of Christianity that has led to some real scary shit. As Satanists, I don't think we have to play by the rules, right?
Well, as Satanists, there are no rules. I do what the fuck I want.
Right. And here's the thing. These people have been up against really polite people lately. Let's take the atheists, for example. Atheists try to be above board. When they handle things, they are very democratic. They're looking for a conversation and to make a change, right?
Yeah, well, the conversation hasn't worked for the last 100 years.
Right, and I think that's what we're missing here, is that these people don't give a shit about conversation. They don't really
They're
want
not
to
interested in hearing what you have to say.
No, it doesn't work on them, and they haven't had anyone to just say, fuck you. No,
you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because that's the thing, they've been vehement in their message. They have been in everybody's face. They have absolutely taken the stand against everybody. And how do we stop that? I think it's just by getting back in their face. It's letting them understand that we're not going to be here to be pushed aside.
And let's put a disclaimer out on it. And like I said earlier, it can be a dangerous thing, right? When you step up to these people, they can be retaliatory. They can be angry.
When you step against these people, it could be dangerous. It could put you in a position that you could become a victim of some kind of hate, some kind of crime, or some kind of physical altercation. But understand that you are putting yourself in that position, and you should take every step to prevent yourself from being a victim. And if you have any kind of opinion to that, or if you have another way of putting that where it's not the way it is, let us know. I mean, that's it. If someone wants to come in and talk to us about it or has a comment about it, put it in there in the comments below and we will talk about it. And that's it.
And look, and we don't claim that anybody has to believe exactly what we believe. Maybe you don't believe the way we're handling it is the right way to handle it. Please give us an argument. Let us know. Now, we'll discuss it with you. We'll read it on air. We are open to our own criticism and learning as well. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I will tell you this. What's been happening over the last 50 years and how politics have gone has not worked. So it's time to step up and do something different. And here we are.
We said this earlier, too, when we were talking, right? That the time for the polite discussion, for the people who are trying to reason with them, is fucking over. It is time when people like us get called in. What? We're the last measure.
we're the last resort.
We're the nuclear option.
Yeah, we're the anti-cop.
Yeah, we show up because you've already fucked up and pushed us too far.
You know what?
We don't show up to everything. We don't pick on everyone. But when you see us, it's because you've done something truly shitty.
Yeah, Hail Satan. When we come back in there and we show up and we're walking down the sidewalk and you see us wearing all black, you know that we fucking mean business. And Hail Satan to that.
Hail Satan to that.
Hail the Dark Lord. As an activist, what separates a Satanist from anybody else on the street trying to be active? What is the difference?
You know, for me, it kind of breaks down to the idea that we naturally don't have to live up to the same social norms that everyone else does. In fact, it's kind of expected of us to break it, right? So we get more of a freedom there than I think a lot of people who are trying to engage in activism do. We can break the rules. We can think outside of the box because we're Satanists. Yeah. That's what they expect us to do. So let's take advantage of that.
Yeah, because what rules do we follow, right? There are none. We create the rules and then we'll break them as we want to, right? I mean, that's it.
We'll create a rule to have you follow it just to break it, just to mess you up.
Just to fuck with you. I mean, that's what it is. You know, you're going to come in here, you're going to follow the rules, and then we're going to take them and we're going to throw them out and change it up, and we're going to fuck with you some more.
Just remember that. You have not dealt with a true adversary before. If you're out there and you're a fundamentalist Christian and you're watching this because you want to know what we're about, take this to heart. We will always be a step ahead. We will always be working on another angle. You cannot predict the level of
discourse,
opposition,
social dissidence,
civil disobedience,
all of it. You don't even know.
We're coming for you.
We're going to destroy it all. So if you are a Satanist or even not a Satanist, if you are an activist, a Christian unfundamentalist, whatever it is you may be, tell us what you think, because you know what? We've got an opinion and we'll help you with it.
Absolutely. Look, and I tell you what, and this leads us into our next little bit here.
Our fake commercial?
No. This leads us into our next little bit here, which is actually our new Book of the Month segment. Book of the Month segment is something that's kind of close to me. We did this back when we were at TST pretty regular. We covered a lot of books.
We did. I enjoyed the Book of the Month. I want to do it some more. I really do.
Absolutely. And that's we're going to do something a little different than this month. You know, you can tune into a lot of satanic podcasts and hear people talk about the Satanic Bible or this author or this author. What we're gonna start, since we were talking about activism and what it means to be an activist and to organize a community towards a goal. There's a book that was suggested to me when I started this group that I probably read about once a year. And I actually do it in combination with another book, but we're going to talk about this one first this month, and it's Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky. Now, you haven't read it yet, right?
I have not read it.
Okay.
And I've had a little bit of, qualms, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
About reading it, just because I don't understand Alinsky and where he's coming from yet. I have the book on the way. I plan on reading it soon. And, I will not
You won't dismiss anything without studying it, right?
I will not dismiss this book before I read it because I will give everything a chance. I want to know what it's about. I want to understand it. And when it comes down to it, what does it mean to be a radical? I mean, that's what the book's about. And I want to understand where this concept is coming from this person. Can you help me out?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I want to point out, too, that... Where was I going with that? Hold on, pause. Can you help me out?
Okay.
Let's do it. Lead me into it. I fucked it all up.
Okay,
that was my fault.
So, here we go. So, I have not read it yet, and I'm not going to dismiss this book before understanding it. I know a little bit about the author. I don't know a lot about the book yet, but I need to understand a little bit more about it. Could you explain it to me?
Yeah, for sure. This book has had a lot of profound influence over the way I think about things and the way I strategize things. If I were to put it out there, I would say Saul Alinsky, when he really starts breaking down community organizing and activism, it is a very pragmatic, rational approach. It is very much about tactics, understanding what you're doing, seeing the world for what it is. And I'll tell you, I actually see a lot of satanic inspiration in it.
So was Alinsky a Satanist?
No. He was Jewish, I believe. If we'll fact check that.
Okay.
I believe he was Jewish.
All right.
Now, I will say he does open his book with a quote, and when I was told to read this book by a mentor of mine who said, if you really want to learn some stuff, read this book. So he opens this book with this quote: "Lest we forget at least an over-the-shoulder acknowledgement to the very first radical. From all of our legends, mythology, and history, and who is to know where mythology leaves off and history begins, or which is which, the very first radical known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did so effectively that he at least won his own kingdom, Lucifer."
What's that mean?
To me, that speaks to a real deep concept of Satanism to me. That if you look at the story of Satan rebelling against God and fighting against him, think about it. He had a third of the numbers in the story, and he still took up a fight that he knew could be a loss. It was probably not advisable for him to take up that fight, but he still did it, and he fought against what he thought was tyranny over himself. And even losing against God, and even losing that battle and being cast out of heaven, he still established his own kingdom on earth. So maybe he didn't destroy what he was, but he was able to make a change in that story.
So it sounds like he has a little bit of a Satanist belief, or at least a Satanist philosophy. How does that translate into what you're doing today?
I think that's an interesting concept, too. I think there are definitely parallels that can be drawn between the two. I don't know if Alinsky would have called himself a Satanist.
Probably not. I mean, he was
But I definitely
Jewish.
think he definitely believed in an idea of an adversary and the idea of revolutionary action and then reaction and the cycle that goes along with that. And a lot of Satanists now are actually familiar with Revolt of Angels, which kind of touches on this too.
Absolutely.
That once anyone, in my interpretation of the story, any one generation achieves God and is in control, it is always the duty of that next generation to kind of overthrow that throne.
Okay.
And to dethrone that God itself. And I think that you can draw a lot of parallels between there and get a lot of rational... There he was. And I think you can really draw parallels there and get a lot of good rational information out of this. Like I said, it's a very pragmatic, very principled, scientific approach to it, and I appreciate that as well.
So how is that helping you with what you're dealing with as far as the counter protest and things along that lines? Is it really a helpful book for that, or is it just a book for organizing or an organization or
I think it actually it speaks to all of that, to both of those. It is very specifically about community organizing and how to grow and have effect with an organization in your world, in your community, in your politics. But I believe that there is a lot of these hidden little personal gems that you can take away from the book as well. So don't discount it as, oh, well, I don't have an organization, so why do I need to read this? No, there's a lot of very personal ideology that can be pulled from it, extracted from it. And you don't have to agree with the whole thing. And I don't know that I agree with all the methods and steps. I've used them multiple times for different things we've done for organizing. And I'll tell you, every time I read it, I tend to learn something new. This is one of the few books I have read multiple times, because every time I read it, I have a different experience from the last time I read it, and I have more to relate to and more to grow off with the knowledge I get it. I always tell to people too, if you really want to be a leader, and this is a group-led, a member-led group, if you really want to step up and you really want to get involved in this organization, this is the first book I suggest everyone read, because I really do think that it is that informative, and it puts a frame of mind in people to accomplish great things.
All right. So I will say I'm looking forward to reading this book, and next month I will give you a counter review and let you know what I think.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
So, if it's a piece of shit, I'll fucking let you know.
I know you will.
And if I like it, I'll let you know that too, right?
Okay, yeah.
So how's that sound?
That's awesome. Let's do that.
So
today's episode of the podcast was brought to you by The Devil's Lettuce. It's your one-way ticket to Beat Street.
Peace.
Smoke your fucks away.